This building, erected in China, proves the country has questionable architecture taste and just plain no sense of humor. Hey y'all, it's David Begnaud and this is Newsbreaker. So the Independent reporting Censors in China doing their best to block social media sites where users are poking fun at the new headquarters for the state-controlled newspaper, The People's Daily. It's under construction and people think it looks a whole lot like that certain part of the male anatomy. The Atlantic reports users on Weibo, China's equivalent of Twitter, are working around the censors by sticking to double entendres like this one. It seems The People's Daily is going to rise up. There's hope for the Chinese dream. Pick of the building going viral meanwhile. Not the first time, though, China's architecture has been mocked. News anchor Dan Lewis points out on Twitter that China's new Gate of the Orient was ridiculed because it looked like a pair of underpants. Yeah, underpants or something else.
I love it. So people are, obviously amused by this. And I think it's hilarious that there's a building in China that looks like a dick when China has banned pornography and had banned pornography in the 1940s, right? So people are like freaking out over it. Of course you expect the juvenile reaction. I should note though that the building isn't completed yet. So what you see at the top, which looks like the tip of a penis, is really scaffolding. So who knows what it's really gonna look like when it's finally done.
I was gonna say, at least it's circumcised.
If they had a
Less
giant,
prone to certain infections.
Yeah, if they had a giant fountain at the top of that thing, now that.
Oh my God. No, I love these pictures, they're hilarious.
People playing with it, yeah.
So in China, you can't get like human porn, but you can get building porn. And people are like, losing it in their pants over it.
Doesn't this just show that if you don't give people regular porn, they will build giant penises? This is why you need porn, because it lets people get that out instead of having to walk around and, oh, look at that penis and that vagina building. And
we're a horny species.
We are a horny species, and once you tell people like you can't have sex, you can't think about sex, you can't even look at a woman's anatomy, right? People lose it. They find ways to do it. I was having a discussion with a coworker who had gone to Iran, and he's like, look, I was there for a few weeks, and honestly, after like the third week, I would see like a woman's ankle, and I would get excited, right? and like that was a really interesting thing for him to admit, but it's totally true. When you make something so taboo, people will think about it and people will want it all the time.
Yeah, it's a function of repression, that you'll find people have to act out or find ways to act out in strange ways. I don't know that this is necessarily what's going on. I could see it as just being a big oversight. If I had not known what the photo was before I saw it because of the tweets that were letting you know that this is what you're going to see, I don't know that I would have thought of that immediately.
oh, come on, that's a penis.
It's hard to
That is
say.
a big wooden
You'd
metallic
think.
penis.
It's hard to say. There are some people that I've talked to who, when they first saw it, they didn't know what was there. Like, oh yeah, there's a building. It didn't really occur to them. So
Those
maybe
people were women.
Do we know what's going to be housed in the penis building? Do we know what kind of offices
the
and
newspaper,
buildings?
the state media.
Right,
State-owned
and that's
newspaper,
it. So
yeah.
it's just the state media. There's not going
Which
to be.
is so appropriate when you think about it.
Yeah.
So they actually don't know, like that's the scaffolding around the top?
Yeah,
They're
the
not
building,
sure.
the pictures that we're showing you right
Yeah.
now, it's the building that has not been completed yet. We don't know what it's going to look like when it's completed. So, and I love people that noted that it is scaffolding. So I think that the tip will look different when it's finished, okay? But regardless of that, people are still taking the pictures. They're still photoshopping, building sex. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely like primed for viral, fame on the internet.
You know how many
it
car
definitely looks
accidents?
like a dick.
How many car accidents are going to be when people are driving
They're
by?
like trying to take the
Big
pictures.
penis.
Right.
Wow. I think
Hilarious.
the censorship, though, is probably a bigger deal as far as, China censoring everything that their people do,
Yeah,
trying
of
to
course.
censor these searches so that people can't see that.
So on a more serious note, in 2005, government officials in China sentenced a porn creator to life in prison. So it is a serious issue, and of course there was that whole brouhaha with China and Google. They wanted to, ban Google because of the fact that the search engine was bringing up porn sites. And I didn't know this until today. They apparently only sell computers that filter porn in China. So they're very, very serious about it. It's ridiculous. Come on, if you're an adult and you want to watch porn, that's a single person's own business. No one else needs to be involved, especially the government. Now, this is a perfect example of government that's too big.